When I started the symposium yesterday, I showed you two whimsical video clips, one of the Blade Runner and the other of Jetsons. I could have, and perhaps should have, showed you this one. Turns out Will Smith is in the future. So watch the crowd as he walks through the crowd. The dog walker is a machine. The garbage picker-uppers are machines, which weirdly are using ergonomic leg movements so they don't strain their back. The engineer surely would have just designed a stronger leg or a bit stronger back, but I thought that was cute. But in any event, I claim no special expertise in this topic. In fact, I wish John was back up here to do this. But I'm standing here for two reasons. Number one, I really was unable to line up a speaker on this topic, at least in the way in which I wanted one. I wanted one not to come from the zoo world to talk about what is already going on, but somebody from the robotic artificial intelligence side, an entirely different branch of science, technology, and academics, and lining things up, that just never came to fruition. And number two, I didn't want to leave the topic out. So if you'll allow me, I'm going to try to do something fairly short. But the topic is the role that robots will play in the future. In the first place, we should acknowledge that is probably going to be a lot of robot helpers. In fact, they're already starting to be produced, and they doubtless will come to play on the human side of the zoo business, just as they do in every other aspect of life. They almost surely will be playing increasing roles just in the coming years in cleaning duties, food preparation, medical procedures, et cetera. And that by itself will dramatically, I think, change the role of zookeepers in the future. The qualifications and duties of zookeepers almost surely will change just as the society itself brings online these machines that we can anticipate. So, but there's more. There's really a revolution if futurists are to believe. Donna Fernandez already showed you this cover story, and the emphasis is on the advance of artificial intelligence and how, in fact, if you will believe the futurists, eventually, and perhaps soon, artificial intelligence will equal to and then come to exceed our own. But in that, there is a side implication that they will come to and equal the intelligence of animals. They will come to and equal the sophistication of the animals. Of course, I see squirming in your seats because you know that you realize that the next thing will happen is Arnold Schwarzenegger will show up in your neighborhood trying to kill Sarah Connor. I'm an optimist, so I have two pieces of advice. One is don't worry about that. It's number two, just to be on the safe side, don't name your future child Sarah Connor. I think that's just good advice. But look at these two photos, both shot in a zoo setting. And imagine that they're artificial animals, that they're machines, not tigers. And by that, I really should correct myself, that they're mechanical tigers and not biological ones, because in some sense, they really would be tigers. People would refer to it as the tiger by the tree or so on. They just wouldn't be what we would call a real tiger. There would be representations of tigers or mechanical tigers. Is that really going to be possible? Well, I think almost surely so. This is where we are right now. Show this, that robot was steering its way around trees, walking over uneven terrain, responding to this this push from the side. How about this one?
Sit.
It becomes more interesting once you put cute fur on them.
Sit and beg.
This one is one of my favorites. They're programmed not only with locomotion and the seeking of the red ball, but they're programmed with the basic game rules and goals of soccer. So the blue dog just retrieved the ball. You notice the goalkeeper is hanging back, or the fullback is hanging back. They've got their program, their position. He just took another shot on goal. And that begins to look like organized social behavior being performed by animals. Now think in terms of the advances in technology that you've just seen in the last 20 years, and think of this as, the first Walkman recorder that you used when you were young, or 10 years ago, and now think about the iPod today and where it will be 10 years from now, where these animals will be, these robotic animals will be in terms of the sophistication of their social behavior, their mimics of social behavior, their ability to mimic locomotive behavior. And imagine the following, that all of these scenes shot at zoos are actually of artificial animals. It would mean actually, it's anticipatable that we will be able to, using just the basic structures of what you've just seen, in only a few more years of advanced mechanical dynamics. And in fact, honestly, more than anything else, advanced battery technology, as soon as batteries become smaller and with more power, that there would be this creature, this animal, would be a machine walking out of the water and swatting at the other animal, or play fighting, or roaring and salivating as it roars, and constricting its eyes when it looks towards the light and dilating its eyes when it looks towards the... And that the zoo visitor is walking through a rainforest, the most amazing rainforest tour we just had, and the ocelot walks right by through the vegetation. Not behind a barrier, but right by, across the walkway and into the vegetation. An ocelot walks by. And one that is indistinguishable from the living ocelot. So right now, a zoo has peafowl walking among their public. Allow a chimpanzee to just walk down a chimpanzee will just walk right by you. I've had the experience. I've been in Gambia, and a chimpanzee walked right by me. Zoo visitor could have that. A chimpanzee-looking thing that would be indistinguishable from any living chimpanzee, unless you had a stethoscope, could walk by you. The same experience would occur, but there would be no barrier. This same experience would occur, but there would be no barrier. Playful sea otters would swim up around and then run around and swim back in. Run around your legs and swim back in. If that were possible, would you want it? My students say no. I've brought this topic up in conversation and during the last few years as I've taught various courses. I've made these predictions, and my students invariably say they would not go to such a zoo. They would not be interested in such a zoo. They don't want that to happen. And I'll ask you all what you think in just a second. But I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that if you could own that machine, teach that machine, pet that machine, have that machine purr. I know you're thinking it's a dog, it's a machine in this thought experiment, that you might not like it. And that if a zoo or museum, this blend, this future thing could exhibit bison, musk oxen and wolves interacting and maneuvering around each other in ways that people could experience beyond what is possible with real animals, with biological animals, that we might be tempted to do it. And I invite comment.